Hello? Hello? One? Hello? Hello?
I don't have chocolate on my face, do I? I had a muesli bar. Had a bit of chocolate in it, it was melted. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for coming, guys. So we've obviously got our captain, Meg Lanning. Who wants to lead us off?
You played a couple of games here, and you probably had a look at the wicket. It's fresh wicket, so we've been told. How different is this from the couple of games here, and how much will the advantage of having played here be useful tomorrow?
Yeah, look, it's going to be hard to tell. When I had a look at it today, they just watered it, so it's a big puddle of water. So I assume that's going to dry up for tomorrow. But we'll just have to wait and see till we see the wicket. But we've played on two different wickets while we've played here, and they've been slightly different. So we'll just have to see what it's like tomorrow, and then hopefully we can adjust pretty quickly.
Meg, it's always a special thing to play against England, and your rivalry is obviously legendary already. But I mean, in the recent tournaments and recent Ashes, you've started to exert a dominance that perhaps hasn't been seen for a while. Do you feel you're going in as favourites tomorrow, and are you comfortable to be in that position?
Well, I'm not sure that we'd be favourites. England obviously are unbeaten in this tournament, finished on top, and we finished second. So it's very even. I think it's pretty difficult to say who's favourite. And in World Cups, the games are always very close and very tough contests. So it's going to be no different tomorrow. Usually we play each other at the final, but it's in the semi this time around. But we always look forward to playing against England because of the rivalry that's there, and it's certainly built up over a long time. So we're really looking forward to taking them on tomorrow.
Meg, obviously not really many secrets in the England side for you guys, and the same the other way, but they have been relying a lot on Charlotte Edwards for their runs in this tournament. Is that basically a real target for you guys to remove her and maybe expose the middle order a bit?
Oh, look, there's no doubt she's a great player and has been for a long time, and she is a key to their lineup. But they've got a number of different players who are very dangerous. Sarah Taylor can take the game away from you very quickly, and they've had some cameos from other players as well. So I think top order runs is key for both sides. The top four are probably the best batters, and if they can get away, then that's going to be a pretty key thing to the game. So the power plays are going to be very crucial for both sides, I think.
England unbeaten, as you mentioned, but wobbled a little bit in a couple of their games and seemed to have a little bit of nerves getting over the line. Do you sense a little bit of fragility in the side, even though they haven't lost a game yet? They've come a little bit closer than they would have liked.
Yeah, look, I think the pitches have played a little part in that. They've been indifferent around the country, and there's always pressure at World Cup. So we've seen England be unbeaten, but as you said, there was a couple of close games in there. So I think if you can get into anyone's middle order, then that really gives you a chance to really try and nail them, I guess, and really try and get into the lower order where you can really squeeze them a little bit more. So there's no doubt we're going to be trying to be aggressive and take wickets, and then try and keep them down if we can get them into a position where we're on top.
And Meg, how intense is that rivalry? Does it get heated out there? I mean, what's it like?
Yeah, there's definitely a fair bit of banter, and we love playing against England just because of that. We know that it's going to be a tough contest, and there's always a little bit of niggle around. And I suppose with the WBBL this year, we actually played alongside a few of the girls as well, so that adds another dimension, I guess. And but once we sort of walk over that white line, where the battle really starts. So we're looking forward to taking them on, and we'll be on the front foot, that's for sure.
Do you feel you got a psychological edge? You must be very confident given your recent results against England in this form.
Oh, Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. We're very confident as a team heading in. It's always very difficult when you're playing in a new country, I guess, in different conditions, to really worry about what's happened before. We're just focusing on what's sort of happened in this tournament, how we're playing, and we're very confident in the last couple of games that we've played that we're playing really good cricket. And if we can do that again against England, then that'll certainly, put us in a good position to win.
Meg, you mentioned about the indifferent wickets, especially the ones at Dharamshala that England were playing on. We may not have seen a lot of runs there, but there were definitely a lot of opportunities, for a couple of hat-tricks. So do you think this kind of, and close games, so do you think this kind of exciting cricket is good for overall for the women's game, or would you prefer more batting-friendly wickets?
I think both of those sort of scenarios can be good games. Often the short, sort of the low-scoring games actually create a really good contest, and we've seen that in a number of games in the women's and the men's. So, obviously for the fans, it's great to see lots of boundaries and runs being scored. But I think all we really want is a contest, and to be a hard battle. And I think we've had that throughout the World Cup. So it obviously happens in different ways, and hopefully whatever happens tomorrow, it's the same, and it's a really tough contest.
Meg? Hi. Yeah. Barring a bit in the New Zealand game, your middle and lower order hasn't really been tested in terms of batting because the top order has been getting a lot of runs, given that these have been pretty low-scoring games. So are you looking at giving them a chance, or would you prefer the top order getting the work done once again?
Yeah, I'd certainly prefer the top order to be scoring the majority of the runs, and we've been able to do that in the last couple of games, which has been very good for the girls up the top. And our lower order's in great form. Middle to lower order, they're smashing it around in the net. So it is difficult to get the match time into them, I guess, if you're sort of only getting the top order time in the middle. But we've been training, plenty of times, and everyone will be ready to go if they get the chance. Spin? Yeah, I think it'll play a part, that's for sure. I think both teams have got two or three spinners that have been very effective throughout the tournament, and we've seen spin really change games, and especially through the middle, be able to tie teams down. So I think it'll play a big part, as it has the whole tournament. It's just about who can adjust the best and try and put them off their lengths, I guess.
So your team is ready to face the spin now?
Yes. Yeah, we're ready. Yeah, we faced plenty of it. So we'll be ready to go when tomorrow comes. Any injury concerns ahead of tomorrow? Any injury? No, we're all good. We've got 15 players to choose from. So it's going to be a tough selection because we've got some very good players, but we'll pick the best team for tomorrow.
Meg, you mentioned that some of the England players played alongside the Australians in the Women's Big Bash. Would you expect yourself and some of the Australian women players to play in the English Women's Super League next summer?
Yeah, I think so. We sort of expressed our interest, I guess, in playing in that. I think it's another great step forward for the women's game, and I'm not sure who or what's going to happen yet, but I know that the girls were interested in playing because it's such a great thing. So I think once the World Cup's sort of done and dusted, that'll all sort itself out. But the WBBL was great for the game, and it was great to be able to attract so many internationals to the tournament, and I'm sure the Super League will be the same.
You touched on it a bit there, but with the Women's Big Bash, in terms of learning more about your opposition, are there any little tips and tricks that you picked up there?
A little bit. It's probably more about learning their personality off the field. Like there's not really anywhere to hide anymore in international cricket. Every game's televised pretty much, and everyone sees how you play and knows how you play. It was just more about their temperament, I guess, and how they operate off the field, and that was a good thing. We got to know each other, I guess, and it does make it a little bit different when you come up against them on the field. I guess you're on the opposition, but once you step out there, you're certainly not friends anymore.
I'll make just two things. One, you've talked about the WBBL and the level of interest, obviously, that gained in Australia. Have you noticed any difference with this tournament compared to previous tournaments in the level of interest as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We've played standalone games here, and there's been good crowds there, and the media interest has been really good as well. So I think every World Cup I come to, there's more and more interest, and that just shows sort of where the women's game's heading. So all around the world, I think more and more people are starting to understand how the women's game works, and that it is good value when you sort of get to know it. So I think that's good, making those steps forward.
And Australia have led the way. England are coming with the Women's Super League. Would you like to see the BCCI set up a Women's IPL?
Yeah, it'd be fantastic. I think India have made some real improvements in their cricket over the last year or so. They came out and played us and played some exciting cricket. So if that was to happen, it'd certainly be exciting for the women's game and a massive step forward, I think. So hopefully the Super League works really well, and you never know what can happen from there.
Meg, in 2009, the semi-final between England and Australia is still remembered as one of the best matches of any type in 2020 cricket. I mean, how important do you think it is for, now you're in the knockouts of this tournament, that the players are ready to produce a game of that sort of quality, and how ready do you think those players are to really step up and showcase what women's cricket's about?
Yeah, absolutely. When you get to the semi-finals, it's the 4 best teams, obviously. So the standard obviously goes up, and part of it is playing some good cricket and exciting cricket, and that's what T20 is all about. So obviously you want a contest, but you want to be able to show off your skills and show the world what you can do. Essentially, we're on the big stage, and that's what you do all those hours of practice for, and practice games, and it's really to come out on the big stage and just really express yourself and show what you can do. So that's certainly how we're going to approach it, and I'm sure England will be the same.
Yeah, since your top order has done really well in this tournament.
Who was that, sorry?
Since your top order has done really well in this tournament, so you would prefer to bat first and put runs on the board, or you and your side prefer chasing?
We don't really mind either way. It'll sort of depend a little bit on the wicket tomorrow and the conditions. Sometimes it's been a bit hazy and cloudy, and other times sunny. So either way, whether we bat or ball first, we're not really too fussed. We're pretty confident either way. So we'll just look at the wicket tomorrow. Once we get here, hopefully it's a bit drier than it was today, and then we'll go from there. Thanks, guys.
The next press conference will happen at 2:15. It'll be a